Hi, Glenn here, Crimson Landscape, here to talk about your landscaping around your pool. Congratulations on getting a new pool. Of course, congratulations on your new home. It's awesome. Alrighty, so as we talked about when I was out there the other day, that your pool is about a foot, roughly give or take, higher than the remainder of your backyard, maybe a smidge more. But for the purposes of this design, I have it roughly 11 inches taller than the remainder of your backyard. I am not 100% sure how that's going to equate to matching up to your driveway, if there's going to need a step down. So I had to do some guessing, which I'll show you in a second. So essentially, I created this border wall that goes around the outside edge of your pool. I tied it into the pool on this side, as you can see, your pool deck, I mean, and goes around towards the other side, towards the fence. We could put it on the other side of the trees to where the border is closer to the fence. In doing that, you lose 12 inches of backyard. And let me show you what I mean. So if we did that like over here, you lose 12 inches of your backyard because you have to have a gap here for between the fence and the backyard concrete border in case you ever need to swap posts, straighten posts, etc. Also, if you need to do any repairs of materials down the side here, you certainly could. Okay, so as you can see, there's the border that goes all the way around, connects to the house here, connects to the house here. We can extend it further, a little bit further down towards the side so you don't see the gray gravel inside the house. Goes down the side and towards the back. Okay. So along the back, I did Eagleson Holly, which is the tree we talked about the other day. It's the most common tree we install in this application. The tree grows in a triangular shape. It is a holly leaf. It's evergreen, has a tiny little soft point on it, and it may produce berries for about a week or two in December, and that's about it. But it produces very little berries. Out of all the hollies, this produces probably the fewest. Roughly 7 feet apart. This is the maximum you can squeeze in here for this particular application. I would not try to squeeze any more in there. They come in 15, 30, 45, and 65 gallons. 30 gallons is going to be the most common, which will be around 6 feet tall. We can get 45 gallons, which will probably be around 8 feet tall, roughly, about as tall as your fence. You'll get around 12 to 18 inches of growth per year. Then all you have to do is continue to shape them into this triangle shape, or you can cut them to where they grow into one big giant hedge where there's one big flat wall. They'll get around 20 to 22 feet tall, depending on how tall you let them grow, and they get there pretty quick. They're quick-growing trees. I did not put any landscape back behind the trees. I tried it, I put it in there, and I didn't like it because of the elevation difference. I think this is one of those things that we'll have to see when the wall's installed and measure it, or at least once the concrete from the pool deck's installed, then get a true measurement of how tall this wall needs to be in order to hold in the grass/turf materials. Then determine, do plants make sense underneath the trees. In this current design, I don't think it does. I didn't think it looked right, so that's why I went with the gravel, and I just added the lights. All right, so on this little strip right here, I added grass or turf here. Let me show what it looks like with plants. I created a couple plant options that I hid below the ground here. Let me grab the first one. Okay, we'll bring that up. Okay, so there's the first option. This is almost like a French country style theme to where it's a set of 3 plants or 4 plants that will repeat. So as you can see, so this looks like from this direction. So we have a Rose Creekabilia, Daylily, Rosemary prostrata, Spirea, Rose Creekabilia, Daylily, and Rosemary again. Along the house over here, I did Giant Liripe. Oh, you know what? I gotta go back. Let me show you the other option. Let me turn around this one. This would be mulch, of course. I'm not gonna take the time to swap that from grass to mulch. Let me go down and find the other option. I hit it below ground. There it is. And these are just ornamental grasses. My favorites, pink mollies. This is going to give you more of a wall. These are going to grow about 2.5, 3 feet tall. And in the winter, the bloom turns pink. So you get a nice little barrier between the pool and the driveway. The one thing stipulation is I am not 100% sure where your fence is going and how much space your fence will take up. So this is a placeholder certainly until we determine the fence location and your pool deck location, so I get an accurate count of what the gap is between the two. So again, we can placeholder one of the other options. If very little will fit there, then we'll look at a very small plant, or we can just look at putting gravel there along the driveway. Okay, let me come back, flip it around this way. Again, Giant Liripe here. I did Giant Liripe because Giant Liripe is a very predictable growth pattern. They look almost identical when they grow, and I was thinking, kind of from the back door as you look out, you have your nice linear trees, and I have something that would match it. that you see is very consistent. The very first thing you see from a grass perspective is very consistent color and texture. Nothing wild or nothing ungangly or that looks it needs to be trimmed. Over here, this is going to be your perennial area, so you have the vast pops of color. Going into this time of year, I may not be able to get a wide swath of perennials, so just a TBD on that. So I did a Salvia greggii, rosemary prostrata. This is a purple sage, and this is going to be a white sage. Then I just repeated it again. So you have the different smells and colors, and these are going to bring in butterflies, and and the red stuff will bring in hummingbirds. Some of the purple stuff might as well. Then the rosemary, of course, smells good, and there's no wives' tale that rosemary mitigates mosquitoes. I don't know, but it's worth installing it. All right, let me come up from this top angle, so you leave from this top angle here. All right, so you see the border. Let me go to look at the distance. The border is 3 feet roughly. It's really too small for grass. I mean, if you really, really want grass in there, I can put grass in there. It's just that small of a space. It's hard to efficiently water without making a mess with spraying water. We could put an underground drip system in there, but then repairs become a bit more complicated. Then, of course, now you got to have somebody mow it. Now they got to drive a lawnmower on your pool deck to get over to mow it. So that's why I keep going back to, in my personal opinion, artificial turf makes the most sense. I would go with something called Ultimate Natural. It's 80-ounce artificial turf. It's 1.5 inches tall, really soft. It does get warm, but it gets no warmer than your pool deck. The only really big drawback to artificial turf is if a dog does its business on it, you got to clean it. It's got a 15-year warranty, 15-year fade warranty. It's pretty low risk. My wife was anti-turf until I did half our yard. Then now, after we did half the yard, she had me do the other half. So our full backyard has artificial turf, and I wouldn't change it for the world. So that's my speech on artificial turf. I can do grass if you want. I just don't think you're going to be happy with it long term. Down the side of the house is the same gravel you have in front. Down the side of the house is the same gravel you have in front all the way down. Then the last bit of it, let me show you, is going to be lights. Turn the lights on. It's pretty hard to have too much lights in your backyard. So you have a light here, 2 lights over here. Then I can put lights over here along the driveway. We can add lights over here as well in this gravel over here. Lights down the side of the house. Lights down the side of the house here for security. Then of course lights on your trees. Then we can put lights on this fence over here. There's a bunch of different flavors of lights that we have to install. Our most common light we install, it's going to be an LED RGBW color changing light. RGBW stands for red, green, blue, white. We give you a remote control. You take the remote control, you walk up to the light, you hit a button, and it changes color. If you want red, white, and blue, or if you want to dim a light. As an example, sometimes these lights right here along the back patio, if you're entertaining, it casts too much of a glare. So you can go dim these 2 lights to like 50%. They still do a good job, but you don't get that glare. There's also a shield I can add to the light, which will direct the light or block the light from kind of glaring into your house if you want to mitigate that as well. Lights are a big deal. Oh, if you want to add a sound system as well, Amp has a good outdoor speaker system. Has a subwoofer package that you can buy that we can install for you that we incorporate into your garage. Then you just have you can control it via Bluetooth to give you an outdoor speaker system if you like it. Let me see what else I can talk to you about. One other option we can look at, if you don't like I said, if you don't like this wall here, I can move the wall back to the fence here and put the plants on the upper area. In doing that, you're going to lose a foot of space. So right now you have 8 feet from here to here. You're going to go down to 7 feet from here to here because we're going to give up 1 foot just for the gap between the fence and the wall, the barrier wall. All right, so let me pause there. If you have any questions, just let us know. And if you're first time guest seeing one of our videos, you can go to our website at crimsonlandscape.com.